know how you treat me, Johnny? Everyone's gonna know. You go out there. You go out there and tell them that you're a victim of DV. See what they say.
Okay, we can't keep talking about Johnny, even though this is all we talk about.
As long as it's relevant, we're gonna be talking about it, Peter. Wait, are we live?
Go out there and
Oh,
tell them, I, Johnny Depp, I'm also a victim. Yes, I am. Hear him go, yeah, in
yeah.
the
I guess I
audio.
should. Brutal.
Called your bluff, baby. All right. Okay, we are streaming. All right. How's it going, Tom?
Well, inflation is high
Okay, hang
and
on.
rising.
Let's not start off with Celsius and inflation.
Excuse me. Do you want
Let's
to
just
hear
shoot the
what
breeze.
I care about, or you want me to stand around?
No,
It's either
no.
Amber Heard or inflation and Celsius token.
I
You got to
will
choose.
accept anything besides starting with inflation. All right. Just how you doing? You have a baby coming soon?
I do. God, you just want to talk about boring stuff. That's all you want to talk about. Who cares about my baby? You can't make money on my baby, Peter.
Wait, I'm shorting your baby.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Ah.
I'm shorting it too. It's a long short sort of portfolio, though. All the kids are sort of balanced.
Yeah. So there was something. Oh, there was one thing I wanted to talk about. Talking about babies. Can I run an idea by you? Actually,
Yeah,
one of
let's
the
hear it.
things I feel might be good in New Rivendell is have a sort of a brainstorm service, not service. Uh, a, a group where people can talk about their ideas and it really helps to bounce ideas off the wall and just to hear yourself express yourself. So maybe some type of pitch or mastermind or something for New Rivendell for people who, if we want to encourage people to be entrepreneurs, creative, do their own thing, it might be good for a lot of people to talk it out. I know I need to. I have an idea that I'm working on.
Let's hear it.
All right. So Sam and Sam is my partner, we came up with this idea called Baby Guru. Uh, for those of you who don't know, the fourth trimester, they call it the fourth trimester. This is the first 3 months that the baby is born, right? 3 trimesters for the gestation, and then the fourth trimester, they call it colloquially, is the 3 months after the baby's born, which is kind of a nightmare. All right. Um, I think you look back at newborn, you're like, oh, that was so sweet. But when you're in it, it's like a total nightmare, or it can be. And during that time, you're heavily sleep deprived. It's easy to forget what you need to do. You need to breathe and take a moment for yourself. You need
You have to
to,
love your child. You have to care about them.
sure. Uh, so we come up with this idea, Baby Grew, of messages for the mother during this trying period. And ultimately, we want to put it on onesies and clothes and receiving blankets and stuff like that. But while that's being prepared and developed, I thought, hey, I want to do this streaming thing that I talked to you about, just having a stream that's going on continuously. And so this stream would be affirmations for the mother. This is a big thing online, affirmation videos, but we'd be streaming it, affirmations for the mother, as if it's not as if their baby's talking, but it's like the baby stuff is meant to remind you to breathe, to drink water, to nap when the baby naps, to give you tips and stuff like that. But I'm looking for a way of to make it interactive slash monetize it. So the interactive part, what I wanted was to be able to put super chats on the screen. So sometimes it'd be affirmations, and sometimes it would be messages from mothers or from parents who are going through stuff who want to communicate to the world, right? To me, it's
It's
like,
like
oh,
public. Like
public,
anybody could
correct.
post anything there.
Well, anybody. So it's this is not the way it's going to work. But ultimately, what I wanted was for a super chat to be there so that it automatically pops up on the screen when you write that message, so that mothers who are sitting at home with their kids could like actually reach out to other mothers and encourage them what they're going through, other parents, I should say. But from what I understand, YouTube doesn't allow live chats or super chats when it comes to content that have to do with kids. Right. So there's no live chat from what I understand because there's a lot of trolls, spam. There's like raunchy stuff that people post. You couldn't just leave a live chat there.
I mean, if you've been on Omegle, you know that Every 5 rounds, you're gonna see some things you don't want to see.
And so our thing isn't targeted towards kids, it's targeted towards mothers, but I'm of the opinion that it's going to be in that category, that they're going to make it the word mother or baby or whatever is going to trigger something that we probably won't get live chat. So I don't want to bet on that. And if you don't have live chat, then you don't have super chats. I like the super chat idea because not only does it help monetize the channel, but it makes it interactive directly. Like someone writes a super chat right away and it appears up on screen, as opposed to sending us an email or a message and then we have to go through it and put it up. Plus, it acts as a kind of mechanism for quality control, because how many trolls are going to pay to put their troll message up on the screen?
I
But
mean, there's few of us who do that.
but I don't think we can have live chat or super chat. So I'm trying to figure out a way to make it interactive, but that makes it simple on the back end. Like I don't want to have to monitor the stream all the time to put things up on the screen and all that jazz. So
So
I'm
what you
looking
want is
for
like a
an idea.
Discord group or something, and like everyone is admin, but no one has kick. Like everyone could like delete messages,
No,
but no one has
I'm
kick
not
rights.
doing Discord. I need it to be simple. The mother's dealing with their kid. They're not going to like, oh, sign up to this thing so that this other thing. It's got to be easy.
So when you said brainstorm, you meant like you want your ideas and
Well, one of the ideas I had was that what Sam could do is come on periodically with her voice, and let's say people submit messages by email or comments on videos or something like that. Then she could read the messages, and it might be good to hear someone's voice, like telling you, because Sam's a life coach and she could be reading the affirmations. She could be reading little stories that people send in, and it's like a human voice. So it spices up the video. So it's not just, because if it's just affirmations, well, any video will do. You don't need my live stream for that. For it to be meaningful in live stream, I think something has to happen there that's interactive. And I don't want to have to necessarily put Sam on camera when you're dealing with a kid like she's doing. It's hard to plan that stuff. You're looking disheveled and all that. I don't want to have to like get her set up to be on camera. Then I also thought, so I thought her coming in with her voice would be good. It's not going to be disruptive. I want the stream to be, I want people to be able to put the live stream on their TV, like a mother to put it on the TV, but I don't want anything jarring to happen to come up on the screen. I don't need a person to show up and all of a sudden be disruptive. I thought just voice
But
would
is
be
the
good.
idea here is someone's like they have it on the side and they're just looking at the stream of things when they want like a positive feeling?
Well, think of it like having a screensaver on your TV.
Yeah.
So you know, like how TVs have like photo album screensavers and it's photos that go. Here would be like pictures, a video of nature. What I've decided is that it would be videos of nature and videos of baby animals,
Hmm.
and it would just constantly be there. And then affirmations would come up on the screen and fade away. Affirmations would be there, and so that's the idea, to have these affirmations on the screen for you to leave it on the TV or on your computer. So as you're walking and feeding the child or whatever, this thing is constantly there. Sam would put on video of 4K aquariums, like colorful fishes, because kids like to look
Right.
at that. You don't want to put anything too crazy, because I'm not of the opinion that it's good to put young kids in front of TV and just leave them there, because they get too overstimulated. But so something calm, peaceful, something that's nice to look at, something that would give you relief as you're watching this thing. But what I need is something about it that makes it so that you want to tune in when it's live, because there'll be pre-recorded video, like we'll rerun live streams, but pre-recorded. So I would like messages from people on the screen, because then it'd be like, hey, now I saw my message, or somebody else puts a message. Like it's kind of cool to see something like that. But I don't know a way to get that on the screen without manually doing it, and that will just be too
Mhm.
much work. Like if I'm streaming it for 4 hours, I don't need to be monitoring a stream for 4 hours.
Why not just have like an AI generate the messages?
What do you mean?
You just have like, open AI generate these affirmations as
No,
opposed to
no. I mean, affirmations, you can have a million affirmations. It doesn't matter. To me, just having affirmation doesn't make it special, because there are tons of videos of affirmations. Who needs to tune in live to that? What makes it good, like when we watch Jimmy what makes it interesting is that they read the messages at some point.
I see.
Like that's what's interesting, to hear what other mothers are going through, to hear encouragements from other mothers, to hear little stories from whatever, just to make it interactive, or for you to be able to be like, hey, I want to add my thing, my mantra, my affirmation to this thing, because then now I did this and now other mothers I know are seeing it, so there's like a fun there because it's interactive. So if it's just
Right.
AI, then it's not a human.
Right. Well, you could have AI check to make sure. Well, no, if it's super chat on there, then you can't do that
What
because
I
AI
was
has.
gonna Sorry, go
They have
ahead.
a content filter that that'll check if it's like inappropriate, and so you can have a message like you could have it filtered before, and then just to avoid that issue, but you can't plug it into
Could I have
super
a
chat.
website that, it doesn't have to be super chat. Can you have a website that people could go to enter whatever they want, uh, and then I could use the website could provide me an overlay that I could put on the in the stream, like a alpha background.
I mean, you could. There's a OBS plugin for that, right? That allows you to, um, I think, put Discord messages is what I had looked at, but I'm sure you can get stuff that's for Twitter or something like that, where
All
it
right,
just text with an overlay background. I
all
did
right.
that
I
for
don't.
my when I was streaming on Twitch. I had done something like that. I wanted Discord messages to show up there, and it did it nicely.
All right, I'm not going to take too long to talk about this. Another way we're going to monetize the channel is by putting Etsy products on the screen. So if you have an Etsy shop that caters to kids, then we can like showcase products. Because another thing that mothers do, and I found myself doing as a parent, is that you're looking for stuff to buy for your kid and looking for little things and blankets and pillows or whatever. So it might be cool to have a kind of a showcase that appears on the screen. Anyway, well, I guess we'll talk about it another time.
Right? Do you have those baby guru like samples like
Yeah.
the, yeah, they look really fantastic. I really love the idea behind it.
Thanks. Thanks. All right. So Celsius.
I mean, I'm loving it, Peter. It's just so. Remember, I told you last time that Celsius token, like one of the advantages, if you hold the Celsius token inside of your wallet on the Celsius network, you get discounts on payments you have to make or on better interest rates and blah blah blah.
Mhm.
So, and I told you that in order to get the highest, like 30% discount, you needed to have or interest rate, you needed to have 25,000 cell tokens, right? So let's say just yesterday when we streamed, right, 25,000 cell tokens would have cost you something like $15,000, right? And so you would have had to spend $15,000 to buy cell tokens that you're holding, and you're like, I'm holding this; it's a great investment because I have this in my wallet. Now I'm getting 30% interest on whatever if I'm loaning out my money, or I have lesser interest payments. Today, Celsius is down right now 32%, right? So that means that 25,000 went down from like 15,000 to $15,000 value that you put in to $10,000, right? That means you lost $5,000.
Wait, hang on. 10,000, 5,000. Yeah, 5,000.
Yeah, yeah, the math checks out. You lost $5,000 in value. That if you had to sell those tokens now, right? But if you sell those tokens now, well, your interest payments on the loan that you gave out, on the loan that you took, goes back up by 30%. So you might be like, well, I'll just hold it,
Mhm.
right? I'll just hold the 25,000 the tokens, and I'll keep the thing, and it'll be worthwhile. Well, if the token goes down to zero, you better have made more than $15,000 in profit, or it wouldn't have mattered, right? And Peter, I'm talking about $15,000 if you bought the tokens yesterday, all right? When the tokens were, what is it? Token was 65 cents, right? If you last week or last month, the token is at $2. So can you imagine how much money someone would have? I mean, I'm not happy that they're losing the money, but if they bought it at $2, it would be $39,000 you would have lost in value of those tokens, right? So to make more than $39,000 in order to offset the loss of value in this token, right?
Mm.
If you were to sell the token today, and if you bought Celsius, if you were in this near the heights when it was $7 a token, right? And you bought $25,000 tokens because it's not the value of the tokens that matters, how many of the tokens you bought. And so you would have spent $175,000 to get those $25,000 tokens. And today you'd be down $164,000 on
Oh
those
man.
tokens. This is what I'm saying. Like crazy Ponzi, or not? It's not just a Ponzi scheme. It's a system where, well, it's a Ponzi scheme because the only people who are buying your things are the people who also want to be part of the scheme. And so watching this drain out, and I was worried, Peter. Back when I was shorting it from like let's say $3, and when it got down to $2, I'm like, okay, I made some money. Like maybe you know, maybe this golden goose is not going to be laying any more eggs. I sort of expected maybe it'll go from $2 down to lower, but I thought it could also jump up to $4, $5. Who knows, right? The Ponzi scheme gets a new marketing budget, venture capitalist money. Who knows? Something happens and it pops up. I didn't want to be holding a short while that happens. Well, I'm pretty happy that now it's down from $2 to 42 cents, which I don't know to like the for you as a regular person who's not around, leverage or options or shorting or whatever, it might not seem like much, but that uh, uh, I'm 20x leverage on that short, Peter. I'm like, I mean, I didn't put a huge amount of money on it, but on a little bit of money, I could make something that's worth the trade. I mean, I'm not making millions of dollars on this, but it is pretty interesting. And
So you're happy
what I
the more
love,
that are you still shorting it?
yes, absolutely. I've been shorting it since you were yapping on about Baby Guru and stuff. It was shorting it even more. And what I find so fascinating are the apologists online, right? So I'm always trying to find out if am I wrong? Something I'm missing or whatever. You look at the balance sheets of Celsius token and how they count what they're actually valued at. You look at the redemptions, how much money people are pulling from the platform. You look at all the liquidity. They're like everything about it. I can't find one piece of bullish news on this thing, right? And you might be like, okay, it's at 43 cents right now. Oh, Tom, how much lower can it go? Well, Luna is at one ten thousandth of a dollar, right? 0.00001. So if it goes to there, whoo boy, I'm happy, bruh. I'm so happy.
Oh man.
And it one of the reasons it kicked off today, and everything's down. Like the S&P is down 2.68%. Jesus, what has been going on since we were on the phone? 2.68%, 3%. Like these are big moves. This is like billions of dollars being burnt inside of the stock market when things go down.
Mm.
And because all these things are tied to liquidity, tied to the money flow, this river of money that flows around the world. If the stock market is down 2%, you can expect Bitcoin could be down a similar amount, and things like this, things that are crappy tokens, go down even more. So there's not just money to be made on the upside of crypto buying and holding. You can also use it as a means of shorting the crypto space. Peter, the other day I was at a comedy show and I was talking with somebody who was like, I mentioned crypto or whatever, and they're like, oh my god, I hate crypto, and why would anyone bother with it? And it's terrible. And they were an artist, and I was hurt in the artist industry, and they just didn't like the whole thing. And so at the end of the conversation, I was like, well, why don't you short it then? He's like, what? Well, if you think it's going to go down, that's what makes the market. You take the other side of the trade and short it. And he's like, wait, I could make money with my idea that this one particular thing or whatever it's not doing what it says it's going to do, that it's harmful. Yeah. And he's like, I think we need to talk. I think we need to talk more. And he went from ranting to be like, wait, that could be a good thing. Instead of just complaining about the thing, you could put your money where your mouth is and make some cash on it.
I think from what I understand, when I started paying attention to the stock market, there's this idea that people who were shorting things are bad. They're the bad people. But if it's you have players on both sides. If you believe in something, you invest in it. If you don't believe it, you short it. And the number of shorts on something gives you information about the thing that's being shorted as well. Like it's useful to know. Like if I'm traveling in out in nature and I see vultures swooping down and somewhere and making some noise, they're probably feeding on some carcass. There's something dead that's happening there that I may or may not want to avoid. If you're seeing a bunch of shorts on something, you might want to say, hey, why do people think Why do people think there's something wrong with this thing? So there's information there. So it serves a purpose to have both birds of prey and vultures, scavengers, and things like that. So you're a
Yeah.
scavenger.
Well, it depends what I'm on. So, I find it useful. Like the reason I talk about charts so much, it's that you don't have to worry about any narrative of what's going on in the news or what people think or what this, some guru thinks. You look at the charts and the charts tell you what's going on, right? When I look at the charts, you want to just pull up my
Yeah.
desktop here, show it real quick. I mean, we don't have to go through all the specific numbers, but just to show you, one
You're
of the
gonna
things
have
I
to
look at.
pause when I make this change. Give me a second. Oops.
You're gonna want to leave it larger. Oh, no, no,
Well,
no, sorry, leave it
we
like this.
can't.
Leave it like this. So this is just a bunch of charts on the screen. You don't have to look at the numbers. You don't have to worry about the squiggly lines. But I look at, let's say, the S&P, the stock market for the United States, the Nasdaq. Do you see? I don't know if you see it here. Do you see this? How gold over here has like spiked up? Do you see that at all?
That green line.
Yeah,
Why does it look like it's skyrocketing like Tesla stock?
exactly. It's going up a lot. So that means as
Wait,
things are
what is
selling
gold
off,
at? 1875. Oh,
1879. Yeah. So what that means is that it initially sold off and now it bounced. That means people were first worried. They were selling. People were selling everything. The inflation numbers came out today, and it was like higher than people expected, and so it's going to be bad for the economy. So people sell things because they don't think that the growth is going to be there, and so gold sold off too. But then gold rocketed back up afterwards. That means not only are people worried that they need money now, but they go, wait a second, I'm worried about money, like the state of money in the future. I better offset my money into gold. It's better for me to have gold exposure than the dollars itself. Same thing with the dollar goes up. You've been hearing about inflation for the United States for the last year, and the dollar just keeps going up. You can take away my chart now if you want. The
no,
dollar
it's
just
fine.
keeps going up, right? And so you would expect the dollar to crash, right? With inflation, inflation means it's too many dollars, and that they're worth less and less and less, and so you need more of them in order to buy something. But the fact that the dollar is going up during inflation means that the the problem isn't really true inflation and that there's too much money flowing around. The problem is that there's supply chain issues, that people go, they have bills to pay, they have things to buy, and they go, I might not have enough money in the future to get it. So let me get as many dollars now as I can, right? And you can imagine if it was real inflation in the way that people think about inflation, you'd imagine people want to sell their dollars as much as possible, right?
Well, spend their dollars, no?
Exactly.
Okay.
But the fact that they're selling things, assets to get dollars, right? So dollars are going up. They're selling bonds, they're selling stocks in order to get dollars. So the dollar goes up. It tells me, oh my God, there's like serious underlying problems in the economy that the narrative isn't really even really talking about. So this is why I
Mhm.
find it so fascinating and so useful that even if people don't trade, man, if they just paid attention to some charts, right? Housing prices for their neighborhood, population rates, dropout rates for children in high school, whatever it is, whatever you find interesting, box office numbers, right? And for movies that they enjoy, or viewership hours viewed for movies on Netflix, whatever it is, it actually gives you this insight, this unvarnished insight into what's going on because it's aggregated information.
Hmm.
It's absolutely fascinating, and that be able to make money off of it, well, that's just the bee's knees, bro.
How much do you think we're going to be talking about crypto when it comes to New Rivendell? Like, as we are in New Rivendell and we have the citizens there, how much will crypto be a part of the everyday conversation? I know we're going to be providing an education on some level. We already have a beginner's guide to crypto, of course, but uh, like, how much will people have to understand or think about crypto when they're dealing with New Rivendell? Do you think?
So I think it'll start off where we'll get people in to get a small basket of cryptos, Bitcoin, Cardano, Ethereum, something like that, some small basket of the mega cap names,
Mhm.
just to hold it. But then I think what we will be very encouraged to do, because what that does is that if what happens happens in the way that we think, where the value of these crypto tokens will go up steadily over time, well then they have this wealth effect. They get to have that sense of a wealth effect, the same way that someone who owned a bunch of Amazon shares felt their wealth go up over time and was able to make different decisions. And so holding that, you know, people will pay $1,000 for a seminar for a course, but that $1,000 in a crypto asset that's just steadily going up makes people feel they could breathe easier. They have a clearer head, and they're more optimistic about the future. So that's the base of why we want people to have that. But then once they're in there, right, then it's a shorter hop in order to get other types of cryptos. And we've talked about all kinds of different cryptos. There, it's not all just these Ponzi schemes. There are cryptos that are about uh, BitTorrent mining and things about music distribution and social tokens for content creators, whatever. And so as we talk about those things, we might actually encourage people to actually swap some of their base tokens for those other ones in order to go, well, now that you've tapped into a live peer token, now you're going to be able, as you monitor the value of that going up and down, that'll give you a signal as to what's going on in the video processing space and how is that evolving, and might make you more interested in order to pay attention to that, or Cardano and voting systems and fundraising systems, or whatever it is. So I think it'll be part of a regular conversation of, okay, let's pay attention to our portfolio and what is it telling us about the state of the economy. Not just the broad money flowing around like it does in the stock market, but also individually about projects that people are doing and grassroots endeavors. I think it's going to be, it behooves us to make it a staple to open up conversations in that way.
I mean, we firmly believe in crypto. Crypto is the thing that gives me the most confidence for the future. Um, so yeah, if
Well,
we
it's
can
not
find
even
some
just
way.
a believing thing, right? Because even when crypto's going down, you're like, okay, crypto's going down, and the idea that, I mean, remember my signals that were saying, "Oh, it's topping over here, and time to get out." Like that tells you something about the state of the economy. That the
Mhm.
Celsius token and other things like Compound and Aave or whatever has started going down in spring of 2021. That tells you things about the economy. It tells you things about, you know, the the Celsius token falling correlates with should you quit your job now, right? How much money is going floating around out there? You'll be like, well, I don't own any of that. Yeah, but someone does, and if there's enough people who have it, then you might be affected indirectly. Or, for example, remember when used cars after 2020, there was so much money flowing around in the system, and there was a shortage of semiconductor chips, right? That's used to finish off a car. And so what happened is that the number of cars were dwindling. There's not enough cars around, so people were buying used cars, and the used cars numbers went bananas. Peter, people could buy a used car off of Facebook Marketplace and then resell it the next week for 20% profit.
Wow.
It's like it was crazy. You can get, because people needed to the cars to get around, and they were sitting around. They had extra time, they had extra money, and they could go out to do stuff, and the used car market really took off. And so, but then you look at those numbers and you check to see, well, what is the rate? Is the price of those used cars still going up, or is it slowing down? And now it's dropping, right? And then now you're getting the thing where the semiconductor chips are not showing up, right? They were there weren't enough of them. Now they're showing up, and these cars are being assembled. So now you have this explosion of, or a sudden rise of the number of cars available, and a sudden drop because of the hardship people are having money wise with gas and inflation and all that. A desire, demand for buying those cars. So you might be headed into a perfect time to get a luxury car
Hmm.
or a mid tier car, because it could be that, oh, they need to sell them, like, because they can't store them indefinitely, right? And so it might be like you might get the best price you can get over the last 10 years for a car now, right? Like there's all kinds of things that following the market data tells you, and you could profit from it up and down. So for crypto, it's not just like oh, it's going down, there's no opportunities. We go, okay, now we're switching the set of opportunities, and imagine having a group of people who are prepared for that thinking, right? For in the bull market, where individually you find it difficult in order to sell any of your crypto, in order to realize any of your gains. No, now you're with a community of people that goes, look, Peter, we're going to be selling 5% of our stuff. Oh, but I don't want to. We're going to be selling 5% of everything. We put it off to the side. We're going to deal with this tax wise. We're going to have this. We're going to use that money for this way and that way. You're still going to make money. We're going to short in that way. We're going to learn this all together as a small part, right, of our education, just like a course in high school. And it's just that part is helping you to gain money and understanding of the system, so that all the other things work better. I think, man, to have a group of people together, that kind of mind, who will listen and will participate together, that's how we can make a town, a digital town, unbelievably prosperous. I'm so excited.
Uh, yeah, it's very exciting. Here, let me move this chart from the screen.
Brutal.
Um, Hang
Bitcoin's
on
going down.
here.
Everything's going down.
Well, maybe I'll leave the charts up. That's good to look at.
I find it just fascinating.
I didn't have to send you any don't bang messages.
Good.
Yeah.
Can you believe, Peter? You don't even have to be in crypto, right? We could tell people. I wish I had my signals before, but we could have told people, oh, now you might want to, as soon as you get your pay in Canadian dollars, switch it to American dollars. Switch at least half of it to American dollars, and just that would have given them something like, I mean, I don't have the exact number here, but let's say it gave them an extra 10% in value. That when they converted back their US dollars to Canadian dollars, they got more Canadian dollars back. You don't even have to talk to people about trading, Peter, or crypto. I just say go to the bank, deposit when you take out your check, ask them for that money in American dollars, hold it, and then next month deposit it back into Canadian dollars. Boom, you've made extra money. Can you imagine? That's like if you got a raise of 10%, wouldn't you be like, oh my god, this was a good year?
Well, I'd be like, oh my God, I have a job again and an employer, and I don't like this. This is terrible. Get me out of here.
But just a currency trade, right?
Yeah.
That's just incredible. You don't have to be like crazy financially literate. You just have to be able to execute simple things. So
So the January 6th hearings have started.
wait, they
And
have?
yeah, yesterday, not nearly as exciting as I was hoping for.
Oh,
It's not even really a hearing. It was so boring, Tom.
really?
It's really boring. I
Were
mean,
the
I guess
senators? Who are they talking to?
the lady I saw, there was this she was a Capitol Police officer who described the harrowing experience. Look, I don't want to get into the whole thing. I don't need to get canceled or anything like that. I don't have strong opinions about it. I care more about the performances, and the senator was talking more than the testimony.
But
Like
who was on the stand?
long. Who's on the stand? Well,
Like what kind of person?
one was a female Capitol Police officer who was there
Okay.
the day, and I forget her name. And then there was another gentleman, and he was a documentary producer, filmer, something like that. I don't know. Tom, it was a snooze fest. I couldn't
Wow.
watch most of it. Um, I was
Did you
hoping
know
for some
Amber
more
Heard was
fireworks.
there on January 6th? I think they're gonna call her on the stand.
Can't wait to hear that video. Um,
Apparently,
you
a police officer stepped on a bee, and she was really upset about
you
that.
weren't insurrected, all right? It wasn't an insurrection, all right? I don't know exactly what my hand was doing, but you weren't insurrected. Um, God, that's never gonna get old. God, Will
It
Smith
isn't.
is gonna have to slap someone else to get me to start saying something, so, something else. Not every single day. Anyway, let's not go back down this road. Anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit and catch up. And I keep thinking about New Rivendell. Hey, you got, oh, maybe give them a little tease. They can see a little bit. Hang on. Get this chart away. Let's put this back there. If you're wondering why it's being filmed like this, is that we're going to be clipping this out for TikTok. So this part
That's right.
here is going to be TikTok. That's why we're stuck here like this. But if you look behind here, ooh, what's that? What's that? Oh, ooh. All right, all right, all right, all right. You don't get to see more than that. Oh my goodness, what do we have left to do for New Rivendell? I'm creating the promo
The website,
teaser
the
thing.
promo.
The website is, how far is the website before?
Well, we have to switch, right? Because we're dialing it down. We want to have some the treasury features, the citizenship NFTs. That's to be later
Mhm.
on, and so but the most important thing is going to be the honor token set up properly. Honor token and the
Oh, we're gonna
honor
have the
NFTs.
honor tokens ready for New Rivendell, not for the Arc. I get. Wait, for the Arc?
Well, we're selling honor NFTs to begin with, right? The NFTs that generate honor tokens,
Mhm.
and so I want to have that day one.
I see.
But
So
I've been focusing more on the work
yeah,
first, and then we could focus back on New Rivendell. I mean, I'm trying to do. You know me. It's very difficult for me to do the minimum, and so I'm just thinking to myself, all right, after the baby's here, after I clear up some of these other things, then I'm going to be able to get that online. But I was just thinking about getting someone just to make the website because I have the idea of how I want it now, and so I'll just have someone just clone what make the version of the site the way I want it, and then we just evolve it over time.
Oh, I didn't see Alex's message from earlier. He says he's wearing shorts right now. He's got a very Elon Musk sense of humor. I like him. All right. Was there anything else to talk about, Tom? I have this book, this thing that I created here. Where is it? Where did it? Where did it?
Well, last words.
Yeah, Tom. I'm looking forward to this. Wait, which one is it? Cryptocurrency. Hey, I thought I had it open. See, this is why I didn't want to share my screen. All right, because then people are going to see everything that I got going on. Anyway, I guess I'll
Yeah,
have to show that another
the
time.
throngs of viewers, they're really going to be trying to hack into your computer now.
You know what, Tom? You know what?
I don't need this.
Uh,
I
I
don't
don't
need
need. Oh, this is it. This is it right here. What'd you tweet about recently? I know very little about Solana. This was June 3rd.
No, no. Click on the tweets and replies, the second tab.
Celsius Network is facing a liquidity crisis. 95% confidence interval given public info. Here's why this matters to depositors who have
Yeah,
loaned their coins to Celsius.
it's a whole thread that
026. All right,
explains
let's go
a
through
bunch of
this
different problems.
thread one by one. And you wrote, so this person wrote, shared this. This is Diamond Wires. Shared this in multiple places. How can we profit from Celsius's collapse? Does USDT depeg if Cell turns into Luna? Ooh, can you just to have your crypto project being referred to Luna compared to Luna? It's like
Peter,
scary.
it will. I don't see. Looking at the chart, I don't
Hang
see
on, let's read your
any
tweet.
bullish
Let's read
anything.
your tweet. You could consider shorting the Cell perpetual future on on FTX. But yeah, if USDT the pegs wouldn't matter, so monitor that peg and withdraw profits often. All right, what were you saying?
Oh, I can't say anything that was more interesting than that. That was
Oh, I
gold.
see. So shorting
So
Cell.
good.
I mean, where are all your happy faces here? You seem so excited talking about shorting Cell.
Happy faces?
Well, I mean, the glee you had on your face when you're like, Celsius is imploding.
Well, the thing is, with Luna, I could understand. People knew they were in a get rich quick scheme. I mean, that's literally what it was. And if they had asked themselves at all, why is this thing valuable? They would not have been able to come up with an answer other than it's making people a lot of money. That's not what value is. Value is not that it makes a lot of people money. It's going to be why is it making a lot of people money. It's like saying if a mine was someone opened up a mine and says, "Oh, it's making a lot of people money. What are you mining? Don't worry about it. Don't worry what we're mining. It's making a lot of people money." All right. So it's an accounting issue. It's an accounting trick. But the sell token, just the prospect of it, someone who says, "Buy 25,000 of my token, and I'll give you a 30% discount." And how is the next question not, what's this token for?
Mm.
Oh, the token is to give you a discount. No, I understand. How can you afford to give me 30% more? Luna was giving you 20%, 18, 20%. And people were like, wow, that's amazing. Celsius allows you to borrow money and save 30% or get 30% more interest on what you loan out. How? Because people buy the Celsius token. Okay, I got that. So people buy the Celsius token and they get a discount. Why does the Celsius token give you a discount? Because if you own it in your wallet, you get a discount. People go, talking to Bernie Madoff, man, you just go around and around in circles. But he paid me, so I don't know what to tell you. He paid me.
I'm trying to provide value to people. I've been trying to think about products that I'd like to sell in for New Rivendell, like a made in New Rivendell thing. I came up with this
Ooh,
this
hey, look at that. I didn't even see all these different designs.
oh yeah, there's different designs here.
I've only saw the three.
Yeah, well, these are basic designs. I gotta get some better designs, but these are kind of fun.
I like
But
the top
essentially,
left one.
with this one,
Yeah, nice.
it's not bad. It's not bad. It's kind of cool
Oh
looking.
yeah.
Um, yeah, what I want to do is, so this is a last words book, and it's kind of like a reverse diary. So you're writing in this book. Well, this black one's not showing up properly, so let me show you.
Oh, it looks
Actually, I'll
fine to
show
me.
you all three. So the point of this book is to write down your last words. I don't know if you've ever tried to do this. I've tried to do this, writing down last words. And what I find is that after a week or two, even a few days, I think, oh no, there's some other last words that there's, I want to change my last words. I want to add to my last words. So here's a book. You can just keep writing in it and you leave it behind for your loved ones to find. Now, this black version here, this is meant to be stealth, right? So this is you can put on your bookshelf. Maybe nobody really notices it, and they find it after you pass away or you leave it to someone. This red one is the opposite of stealth. This was the one where if somebody's going through your belongings and they come across this, they're very likely, I think, to be like, "Hey, what is this super red book? You know, what's going on here?" And then there's some ones that here maybe you're not hiding, maybe you're proud of it, whatever. It looks nice. This is the soul version. I call this the soul book, and you
Like
write it in,
Solana?
and
Like Solana.
no, not so. More like soul bound. No. Uh, now I wish we put soul in our things. These are. I'm going to call this a soul book. But anyway, the idea here is to write down last words. Is to communicate to people. Look, sometimes there's things you want to say, but you don't want to be around for the consequences of those words. Or the way I thought about it is like, hey, wouldn't it be good if I had a book from Tom where I could have one more conversation with him. I could learn one more thing from him. I can get one more story from Tom after he's passed away because he tried to short Celsius, but it didn't go well. Wouldn't it be good to have something in here just to have a little extra from the person beyond the grave? One of the other things you can put in here is you could put in your crypto passwords or passwords for your accounts or something. You
Ah.
know, not that you should, but maybe hide the book. But it's offline. It's disconnected. It's not connected to the internet, so it's unhackable.
It's the most secure, right?
It's 100% secure. It's air gapped. Um, so you can write your stuff in here. I plan on writing, the password. Like, okay, I have nothing that's too serious behind password stuff. But if you're going through someone's things and you want to access their email or whatever, you got some accounts or things you want to get to, some photos you can write down the passwords here. So I look, none of these books have passwords in them, and none of them will. So don't come looking for me. I got nothing for you. All right. But you could also, let's say, put a web page in here. So maybe you don't want to write down. My handwriting is terrible. Maybe you don't want to write down everything. Maybe you do want to write it down digitally online. This is what I did. When the pandemic hit, I kept a running email for my brother Tom, in case something should happen to me unexpectedly.
What?
And I scheduled the email to send out in like 6 months. All right. So I had to remember to keep going to the email to reset the timer because I don't need, Tom to wake up in the morning. If you're reading this, then the worst has happened. But meanwhile, I'm not dead. Like I didn't need that. So I had to keep going to update the email. And it was becoming this huge stress on my mind. It was a huge stress to be like, I will forget this. Like I will forget that I wrote this thing, and then I'm gonna have to deal with the consequence of this. I mean, the things I wrote for Tom in here, I didn't want to be around when he read them. No, I'm joking. But I was just like, this is kind of a hassle. I wish there was a way to do it. But I was like, if I put it online somewhere, one, I have to remember to give Tom the website to come and find this thing. If I put a password blocked, he's got to remember, he's got to know the password. I was like, I was like, how am I going to, let me just write it down in the book, write it down. That's where I came up with this idea for the book. And I was like, okay, but if I write it in a book, if I die unexpectedly and I don't tell him about this book, how is he going to know? Well, that's where I can, like, if he's going through my belongings and he comes across this book that says last words on it, he's gonna wonder at the very least and go through it. And then I thought, oh, it might be good for some other people. So that's where the idea of the book came up
I love
with.
the idea of picking out the book and going, huh. Put it back on the shelf.
Just toss it away. It's also really feels really good. So if you want to buy this book, you can actually go to Art of Wear. Actually, I'll post a link below. Art of Wear.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get that prismatic pink one. Looks great.
There's some cool ones here. So I went green nature style. This one is like an ocean marble. And these are kind of cool. Cool pattern here, a dark one. I also have this version here that's a black stealth, bold stealth. And what it does is that it has a red spine. So when the book is on the shelf, it would kind of stand out. So this is like you want it to be, if it's out and about, you want it to be stealth, but if it's on the bookshelf, you kind of want to draw someone's attention to it. So that's the idea behind this one. But there's different designs, and I'll be coming up with more. It's $15 for the book, Canadian, I believe. So I get a cut of that. I like Art of Wear. There's a cool website. You can make your own designs there. But so I want this to be a made in you Rivendell product. Now, one of the reasons I made this is that I think a lot of people don't think about death. It's not a part of the conversation, right? It's not a part. Look, one of the things, I'm a motivational speaker, motivational teacher, and when I talk to people, I like to bring up the concept of death because without it, you lose the urgency of now. Like it's very good for people to live in the now. It's very important to do things now. But when you don't think about death, then the urgency of the now really isn't as acute. But when you're like, hey, death can come for me and find me, I got to take action on what I want to do now. I have to say the things I want to say now. That's what this book is meant to do. As you're writing here, and this is what I found when I write last words, is that I think I write down the last word and then I go, wait, hang on a second. I should just go and tell my loved ones this right now. So I don't actually really have many last words to tell people because the moment I write them down, I go and tell them. But this book kind of gives you kind of an excuse to think about it and tell them, oh, I don't want to forget about it. And I write it down. And so Made in Rivendell, to me, it's about products that help you more. It's got to be, at least for the what I want to create, it's got to be more than just a product. It's got to serve sort of a purpose. And my purpose in New Rivendell is to give people an excuse to think about themselves, to be introspective, to think about their lives, to think about their impact on the world. The context of New Rivendell, you folks might not know this, but the context of New Rivendell is that we are, hang on, let me put this away so we can see the background here. We are escaping the zombie apocalypse. That's what we're doing. We're escaping the world. Damn, I wish we had the arc image here now that I think about it. Hang on, let me just change this real quick. I don't want to keep you if you have to go, but give me a second here. How do I change the background picture?
Desktop screensaver, top left.
Second icon. Oops.
Desktop and screensaver.
Okay, there it is. All right, that's the wrong one. Oh, there it is. All right. This is the arc. And essentially, the story behind New Rivendell is that we are escaping the current zombie apocalypse. And if you don't know that you are currently living in a zombie apocalypse, then you're a zombie, okay? Because it's obvious. People are eating each other out there like crazy.
Yeah, the Fed are walking around ravenous.
The Fed is walking around. They're ravenous. People are mindless, living without purpose. Or according to some other purpose, or just interested in satisfying their base needs. So we're escaping the apocalypse. So there's a story behind New Rivendell, like, hey, be alive, like live. Like one of the reasons we want people to learn about crypto is that learning is good. Learning something that's new and innovative is good. You don't even have to own any crypto to learn about it, to be stimulated, to be alive. Don't be like one of these people who, oh, I only took to the internet 10 years after. I only took the podcast 10 years after, and I'm slow to get started. I'm not in that world. The world has gone on without me. Don't be like that. Don't be like the person like, oh, I'm not going to get a smartphone. I'm not going to get a smartphone. And you get a smartphone when there's now 1 billion features in that thing, and now you're intimidated by it. Jump on board. So New Rivendell is giving people an excuse to pay attention to crypto, to understand about money, to understand about their lives. And this book to me is to give people an excuse to think about their lives and death. And that's my motivation behind it. So if you want a book, you can go and get it. It's $15. Or just get a notebook and write last words on it or something. However you want to do it.
Stop. They're gonna get your book, and that's what they're doing. Right? There's a package deal. You can get 100 for the price of 99. It's a limited item offer. That's what I recommend. But I want to get like a ton of them, right? And so people will be like, they'll come, they open up the chest, and they'll see, oh my god, Tom has so many last words, and they open it up, and it's they're all blank except for the last one that said, "I said everything I needed to say," and people will be like, "Wow, he's so deep. He's so deep."
What I want to do for oh Tom, I got to tell you. Oh, do you have time?
Yeah.
I want to tell you about another idea that it came up. It's called. I'm not exactly sure what it's going to be called right now. The title is voicemails for our children. First, it was voicemails for Ayla, or voicemails for my kid. But I hope to have another kid, and so I don't want to. I want it to be inclusive. And then I thought about the other kids in our family, and then I thought about it. I was like, okay, voicemails for our children. So I'm going to be doing a podcast series like for where I use audio and I'm leaving voicemails for Ayla, for kids, but for Ayla, like messages for her to listen to when she's older. Look, I had Ayla late in life. By the time she's my age, I will be no age. So, so I'm thinking ahead. I'm not going to be one of these people. Oh, I'm just going to be so healthy and no. I live in a world with COVID.
Why don't you want to do it in video? Why do you want to do it audio?
I just need a fast, simple way to do it. So I can just record memos on my phone. I like the audio quality of hearing. Well, have you ever heard Jimmy Dore's voicemails when he gets voicemails from celebrity, from Mike McRae?
Voicemails? No, I've heard them when he has conversations.
He has calls, but sometimes for like holidays and stuff, he gets voicemail. So it's like, oh, this is from Joe Biden. Beep. Hey, this is Joe Biden, and I just want to say, Jimmy Dore, that I'm not looking for your support at all. Beep, and then you hear Obama. Hey, this is Barack Obama, and so it's funny to me, and it's old, like it's from our time. Like we grew up with voicemails, so I expect her 20 years from now to get a kick out of listening to voicemails, which aren't a thing, and so I just like that context, and it's easier to create. The audio quality doesn't have to be as it's meant to be something to listen to, and I don't really care that I'm seen, and I'm looking for ways to create content that doesn't require me to be all set up, where I can be in the car and turn on the voice memo and record a voicemail for her. I want something that's easy like that.
Right.
And one of the reasons I want to call them voicemails for our children is that I actually think our whole group, our whole like group here, you, me, Sam, Melissa, Ashley, can actually do voicemails that we all do. Some of them are funny, some of them are poignant. Life lessons, like whatever. It's meant to be more funny, but also like meaningful, like actually serious things. And because sometimes
it'll all be meaningful to the kids, right? They'll be able to see into the mind of their parent.
That's right.
And they're like, oh my god, they thought about this little tidbit. So it doesn't matter what
That's
it
right.
is.
And it's easier than writing text in a book, and it's more casual. So that's why I want to do audio. And I just saw, if you haven't seen Apple TV's show, it's called Calls, Calls, Calls.
Oh, I keep forgetting to watch that.
It's really good. It's really, really good. 7.7 is well deserved on IMDb. And essentially, it's all phone calls. So you hear phone calls. It has that quality of a phone call. There is a very important visual element. You can just listen to it, but there is a visual element that I find cool, but it's overwhelmingly an audio drama. I love audio dramas. I don't know if you folks know about audio dramas. There used to be radio audio dramas. Now there are podcasts. Really cool. I listen to We're Alive, The Phenomenon, Life After Death. There's some really cool ones. To listen to something, to have your imagination go. So I wanted a voicemail for Ayla to have kind of that experience of just listening to your voice. Look, and easy to accomplish. So I thought
I've been wanting to do something for Baron. It's just been
yeah. So this would be easy. All you have to do is hit the memo thing on your phone and then send me the audio file, and then we'll just begin and end it with beeps, and it could be funny. And when I started thinking about all the things I could say to Ayla, it was just so funny. So this book is like more meaningful, more serious, it's more personal. It's for her. It's not to share, but the voicemails are meant to be for everybody to listen to. And I thought it might be fun. Actually, I'm going to be starting that this week, so you can look out for that. But the whole point is, we want to encourage people in New Rivendell to come up with ideas that cause people to think, to reflect, to engage with the world, to make the world a better place, to improve their lives. Like that, to me, is the mission of New Rivendell. It's not just a community of people coming together to just sell products and goods and services, but there's a philosophy behind it that we want to have. And yeah, I wanted to talk about that. So here are the books. I don't know which one I like the best. I thought the black one was the one I liked the best, and the red one is pretty bold.
Well,
But
I
this
don't know why I
soul
wouldn't get
one,
the black one with the red spine.
what?
The black one with the red spine seems so useful.
Yeah, it depends on what you want. Oh, I'm also going to be creating, asking for people to submit their last words because I want to create a last words coffee table book, like
Right.
to advertise this. So I want a book that is just filled with just hundreds of people's last words that they're leaving to the world. You open the book and you look. Oh, Deidre from Los Angeles says that we're all made of energy and that we're all free flowing. I don't know. Just like I felt like after COVID, we lost so much wisdom from the elderly people. Like imagine you have a parent or a grandparent and you give them this book. You say, hey, grandma, here. And I promise you, I will read this book when you pass away. Anything you write in here, I will read. And you can write messages to more than one person. Like I can write to all kinds of people. And I just think, like, what would mom write to Ayla? What would she write? Maybe something about Jesus, but probably other things too. And it's just cool. It's a cool gift to give to someone else. It's a, I don't know. To me, somebody gave me this book and says, "You write in this, and I will find this book when you pass away, and I will read it." I'd be like, "Oh my god!" Like somebody actually cares to hear what I have to say. And anyway, that's it. That's it for me. I'm constantly thinking about things that can come out of New Rivendell that would make people go, "Hey, oh, that's kind of interesting."
And
That's right.
death, apparently. Think a lot about death.
It's not part of our culture. It's not. There are other cultures where death is a meaningful part of their culture, right? They celebrate it. There's stories about the
Yeah, but
Irish.
Peter,
About
those people don't wear clothes or bras. So I don't know what to tell you.
no, there's all kinds of groups, all kinds of people, cultures that celebrate death. And I
It's
think
okay. By the way, I can
without
say
it,
that because I'm black, just so you know. In case YouTube algorithm is trying to figure out where to place this. It might not know. It sees me in a tie, it sees me in a white shirt. It goes, that person's mostly white. Nope, I'm black.
do you think it's possible to have the sensation of the urgency of now if you don't have a firm place for
If you're
death in your
if
in
you're
your
a
mind?
woman, yes, because they have pregnancy that they might end up in, and that's an urgency. That's a now thing. I mean,
Mhm.
I see my wife going around, and to her, it's all about okay, nest, prepare, get in the right state, and but for men, I think it's they
Unless you
need that
get
jump start,
sick, unless you get a
or
heart attack
someone
or something.
or someone close to you, or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's rough. All right, I'm gonna have to get going.
All right.
These stocks are not
Nice
going to
talk.
short themselves.
Oh my God, we've been talking for an hour. I thought we were going to be on
An
for just
hour.
a few minutes, and here we are.
All
All right, folks.
right, buddy.
Join us in Telegram if you want to chat, and we can interact with you. We'll see your messages here, and we'll talk about it on the stream. This is the home for New Rivendell. So this is we're trying to create a sense of community, personality. Want to let you know who we are, where we're coming from. There's some things about us that you might like, some things you don't like, but we are on a mission to make your life better, and our lives too, of course. All right. Alex, thanks for being here and wearing your shorts. And I'm sure Tom is wearing short. You don't know, but Tom's wearing shorts right now. Don't show him. Don't show him. He's
I
wearing
mean,
shorts right now. All
I'm
right.
bare underneath the waist, Peter. I don't bother. I'm on stream. Nothing more comfortable than tie on top and party at the bottom.
So now we're gonna have to check off that box on YouTube that says not children's content, like not made for children. All right. I'm
Justice
gonna
for Amber Heard.
let me end this stream.